Oh, yeah.
Hi, welcome to the Zodiac chat line for our winter solstice show and our final show. I am your host, Tanae, and of course, Cassie is here with me. Friend, 4 years later, how are you today?
A blessed solstice. I am you know what? I'm doing well. I feel good whilst things are cray. But I'm feeling good. How about you?
Personally, right? This,
Yes.
this, this, I'm feeling I'm feeling so good. I really like the solstice. It's probably one of my favorite witchy holidays to celebrate.
Mhm.
Um, just because of the time of year, the meanings that are behind the solstice and all of that. And it's a great time to just reflect in so many ways. But before we get to all of the fun things we have planned for this show, and I think they're fun, and Cassie thinks they're fun. So,
Totally
welcome to
fun.
anybody that is watching. Hello, thank you, and thank you. Um, so, right now, we're going to give you a quick rundown of where the planets are because why not? Officially today, we have started Capricorn season and the sun has moved into Capricorn. And we just had our new moon in Sagittarius on the 19th, Friday, and Mercury is now in Sagittarius, Venus is now in Sagittarius, Mars is in Capricorn, Jupiter is retrograde in Cancer, Saturn is in Pisces, Uranus is retrograde in Taurus, Neptune is in Pisces, Pluto is in Aquarius, and the North Node is in Pisces. So, we got all over the place, really, honestly. Like energies, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, sprinkle of this, sprinkle of that, all comes together for this beautiful time of year. Um, and the winter solstice, it's the shortest day of the year, and a lot of communities are bringing back the sun, but we are getting cold and it's hibernation time.
Yeah, for real. Winter solstice, as you said, kicks off Capricorn season, the winter season, across the world and across time. The winter solstice has been a time to welcome back the light, despite the fact that, yeah, we're very much we're tamping it down here until we hit spring. And I read a very good summation that Bree Luna, who goes by the Hood Witch, and or that's the name of her business and online presence, wrote about Capricorn season that I wanted to share because I thought it was a really good frame for how to think about the energy that's happening right now. Capricorn energy is about structure, not restriction, but structure. It shows us what is sustainable and what isn't, what can be realistically carried and what needs to be set down. This is a season of accountability, not punishment, but where your energy is going and what you're responsible for, what you're ready to commit to long term. And and we were talking about this, before we began streaming today, that um, in some ways, uh, the winter solstice lines up with how we handle New Year here in the United States in this time, which is about setting goals for the year. But the big difference is that you know we try to do too much too fast. I think in our American like New Year's resolution culture, like all of a sudden people are going to the gym 5 days a week and everything. But really, the way to work best and easiest work with this energy is to really take stock of what it is you're working toward and focus that and be very intentional about it and develop habits and structures and start slowly now during the rest of the winter months to set yourself up for a more rapid and sustainable growth once we hit spring, summer, and fall. But trying to do it all and grow all at once this time of year is not really it. It's just not a recipe for
No.
long-term success. We also need the rest, we need
Yeah.
the reflection, we need the darkness in order to properly use the light. So,
Yes. And I think our bodies also tell us now is the time to really go within, be a little more still, meditate. And there's a lot of gratitude around this season. And I think that in in spite of the world that we see right now that doesn't feel um, that there is a lot of gratitude in a lot of other places, that we should find gratitude in surviving through this year, and overcoming some things. I'm sure we all have found things that we needed to overcome, lessons we needed to learn through this year. And the winter solstice is the time, not even for just your nuclear family or your biological family, but whatever family that you have, including your communal family, your community family. This is a time to really show gratitude within that dynamic, to your friends, and just to yourself, and give grace to yourself and a lot of other people. This time of year can be hard for a lot of people, especially if they've suffered a loss recently. And just to a lot of my friends who I know personally have experienced loss this year and most recently, and I know this is their first holiday without a lot of family members, I am sending you so much love, and I hope you find the gratitude and the grace and like the presence that that person had in your life. And we this is just such a magical time for Cassie and myself. I think we really love the solstices and the equinoxes, but I think this one just has such a great sentimental value for our cast replacements. Cassie's Queen Cancer. I am like Page of Cups Cancer, if you know what that means. Maybe Knight of Cups. I might have moved up to Knight of Cups a little bit. But either way, the Cancer energy of sentimentality and how this whole creation of the Zodiac chat line came about. Came at a winter solstice moment. Cassie and I have known each other for at least a decade. We won't tell you how much longer, but minimum of a decade. It was prior to her marriage and children. Let's just say that. Um,
back in
but
my hoe years.
we all had them. But we met in Atlanta and we worked at a restaurant together, and instantly, and I mean instantly, y'all connected over astrology. And we would have, every time Mercury would go retrograde, we'd be just telling everybody in the, y'all all right, people gonna be crazy. A full moon would happen, we'd be like, okay guys, brace yourselves, all these people are coming in. And it just led to, we would have driveway chats, we would just, our friendship just evolved from that. And Coral, who is our third member of Zodiac Chat Line, Sagittarius. We all lived in different places in 2020, and as everybody knows, 2020 kind of shut the world down and really shut face-to-face interactions down. And the three of us really wanted to support each other and keep our mental high. And so we decided to do some Saturday night FaceTimes and chats. And the spark of Sagittarius says to Cassie and myself, you guys should really start like an astrology show or something. You guys would be. And we were like, you know what? You don't say. And that is how we came to be in front of you. And in the beginning of this project, we kind of, first day, out of the gate, we really knew, I don't think we knew anything really about how we wanted this to look or our lighting or anything like that. I think we just hopped on, we were sitting, and we were just like, let's talk and see what happens. We found some amazing people who decided they wanted to come and talk about themselves, shocker, on our show. And so in the beginning, we found a lot of different iterations, whether we talked about people's charts. As we move through, you could see that we went to themes of seasonal. We did realize that we are not social media mavens, and this is not something we could sustain on a weekly basis. And so we found a cadence that worked for us in our real lives. But we are so grateful to everyone that has ever hopped on our show. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We are sending you so much solstice love and so much, many, many, many blessings for the rest of this year and beyond, and of course into 2026. But this is, I think, the 100th episode. So thank you to everybody who's watching. And we're excited to talk to all of our lovely guests that we are about to bring on because when I tell you, we are about to have some fun with these folks. Our first guest came to us on January the 9th. He was the first guest on our show. Cassie, can you tell the people his big three?
Of course I can. Dan, OG, first guest, first show, Leo sun, Taurus moon, Libra rising. Just look at that. Look at that face. Look at that
Just
hair. What else
look at
could he
me.
be? Yes.
Uh,
Welcome back.
our
Hello.
next um hello Dan, the Leos love us. Our next guest of course is a Leo queen, and she joined our show on July the 3rd 2022. Welcome Janelle. Cassie, tell the people about Janelle.
Of course. Leo sun, Obvi, Gemini moon, Libra rising. Again, so much, just two peas in a pod here, Janelle and Dan. Well, Leos with Libra risings.
Oh,
And
Libra.
Pretty
to get a
people.
little
Mhm.
to get a little grounding in, we of course welcome the lovely Jamaica to the show. And Jamaica came to us on July 10th, 2022. Hello, Jamaica. Cassie, tell the people about Jamaica's lovely placements.
Yes. Jamaica, yes, a Taurus sun, Aquarius moon, also Libra rising, a trifecta of Libra risings. You are all very cute and beautiful. So this
Listen, right.
tracks.
Venus is rolling. Venus is
Yes.
rolling. Yes, we're the
Yes.
pretty girls. We're the pretty girls. Love it.
Danae and I are lucky you
We
guys sat at
are
our lunch table.
right, right. We are so grateful for you guys to take the time out of your busy lives to come and reminisce and be back with us. And so, of course, Dan, we're going to start with you because first of all, OG guests, the OG guest, we thank you so much for agreeing to talk to us way back in 2022. And we're just wondering, how have you been doing since then? What's life been like?
Uh, my God, life has been lifing. Um, everything's been, I don't know. For a minute, everything was like kind of coming up Millhouse, but now it's now it's on the up and up. Everything's kind of, I've done so many things. I think actually the first time that I was on your show, I was in Florida because I was working on a small indie film, which has since come out and is on Hulu. It's called Big Easy Queens. But I don't know, gosh, since then I got engaged, I got married. I I know so much stuff. And I've just
Yeah,
been
yeah,
out here
okay.
doing things.
Life is giving you all the life. I'm here
So
for
much
it.
stuff.
Oh my God, that's
Congratulations.
yeah,
Thanks.
Congrats.
that is beautiful. Well, Janelle, you, of course, one of our very first Leo queens. And we love finding you because you have always just supported us so hard, and we love you for that. So, and
Y'all are
we have
awesome.
July 2022 till now. So that was just a little bit right before your birthday. And now here we are in 2025. What's been going on with you?
Doing. Um, it's just so as a mom, my daughter was 2022, that means Charm was 2 at that time. And we were just in the middle of suspecting that she had autism. And now she is in kindergarten, thriving with her IEP and her diagnosis. Um, I think my body's finally catching up to um, just kind of how much I missed with myself during all that time. Because I was in the thick of it. Because, like, it's just tough. A lot of things I had never went through before. But, like, to say that it's all bad or all good is just like never really been my thing. We all know that we've been going through it in this situation we find ourselves in America. But doing a better job, I think, of finding the good and creating the good.
I love that. Finding the good and creating the good. We gotta remember those quotes, y'all.
Mhm.
And down to you, Miss Jamaica, also July of 2022. And now we are in 2025. What's been going on with you?
Oh my gosh, a lot. I feel like the last few years have been a whirlwind. It's been kind of crazy. Like a lot of change for me, which is hard. You mentioned I'm a Taurus. Like I like stability, things to feel familiar. But I think like the biggest lesson over the last few years is like just because something's familiar doesn't mean it's healthy. So
Mm,
I've had to like shift a lot of my relationships and just like reevaluate things. So I mean, it's been a lot of change. And especially in 2025, I think like the universe was like, girl, you've been moving real slow. We've been giving you signs, you've been moving real slow. Like we're gonna help you move along, right? And so yeah, a lot of big change, a lot of big decisions. And so it's been uncomfortable a lot, but I think going into 2026, I'm feeling really good. I feel like the most at peace I probably felt in a long
Mhm.
time and just really kind of like focused on me, which is not easy for me. I'm not a me type of person. Kind of like focusing on other folks. So yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a whirlwind. Yeah.
love that. I'm so glad to just see that all of you feel like even though you had been through whatever difficulties in the past couple of years, it just feels like, okay, I understand it, and I'm so looking forward to 2026. And so, what are you looking forward to for this next year? For this just and the years to come, but just more importantly, like for your next birthday cycle, since most of you that will be happening, all of you will have new birthdays next year. What are you looking forward to? And this is whoever wants to speak up. There's no
And Tanae, I feel at this point we should start answering these questions too. We got off the hook for the first one because we've been on every show.
girl
So,
what? Girl what?
I pulled the Uno reverse on you there.
Cassie's the only person that can do that. Good, then you can start.
I will. You know what? I will. I'll give everybody a chance to think. So something I'm looking forward to is having fewer commitments. I over the past, so the life of this project and really my whole life, something I have struggled with is doing too much, and I want to do all the things. I'm very interested in a lot of different things, and I tend to um pick things up and think I could help this. I could do this a little bit too, and I can do this and this and it's too much. And I did a good job. Maybe it was 2023. I was really cognizant about the one of the first times we shifted the frequency of this show. I was realizing that I was really burning the candle at both ends, and I needed to make sure I got enough sleep and all this stuff. And I did really well with that. But this last year, 2025, I really, and last bit of 2024, slipped into like old patterns with just too many things. And I've realized over the past couple months that that has to stop. So I've made a conscious effort to take stuff off of my plate, and I'm looking forward to having a little bit more freedom with the little bit of free time I have. And I have some ideas about, other things to keep focusing on to fill that. But that's what I'm excited about. Just a little bit more room to play.
Okay, we like that. Okay. Since Cassie wants me to talk. I'm just kidding. So I'm actually looking forward to being focused on some of my own side personal projects that Cassie is and Dan actually are both aware of. But really putting more focus and emphasis on those things that do have to do with astrology, but also other business ventures that I'm working on. And just enjoying the astrology and not always being on camera talking about it. And also using my 2026 Channy planner. So that is what I'm
I want
also looking forward
one.
to. Um, and just, taking all the lessons and just meeting all of you amazing people and being able to take some of the inspiration that you guys have given me over these years to move into the next phase of life. Jamaica, you can go next.
Okay.
She's calling on people.
Right. I need to
Popcorn.
be called on. Listen, I love it.
I know. I just,
Okay. What am I looking forward to? I think, or what am I gonna work on? I think for me, it's like my inner voice is very critical and not supportive.
Mm,
And like I've been realizing that a little bit more recently. And I realize like how limiting that has been in my life. It's like when I finally get the nerve to like do something, often it works out, right? And it's like, but I'll talk myself out of something so fast. And so I think like in this next year, I'm really going to be very intentional about like being softer with myself. I'm very harsh with myself. And it's like I got to start talking to myself like a friend because, I can't be my own worst enemy. So I think that's one thing I'm definitely going to try to like focus on over the next year pretty heavily. Yeah.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Dan.
Um, I would say that it's kind of to your point and Cassie's point, but almost the flip of what Cassie said. So I feel like the past few years I've been doing a lot of like groundwork things and like building a nice foundation for things that I'm working on. I am really excited to just kind of get out there and do more things. I want more things on my plate. I want,
mm,
things that I can control that I've been setting up. Now it's time to kind of like flip that little domino and just watch it all go. You know, I've decided that
mhm.
2026 is a year that I am kind of going to switch from passive aggression to more,
Aggressive
aggressive
aggression?
aggression. Yes.
Yes. Okay, you gonna get
It's my
that
year. I'm just
like
gonna
that
do it.
Leo
I'm gonna
fire.
say it. I
Yes.
said what I said. I'm just gonna do it. And like that's it. I People are not getting social cues from me anymore. It's just gonna be like, that's the thing I said. I'm gonna do it. You know?
Yes. Support,
I love
support
that.
it.
Hmm.
All right, Janelle, what's up, girl?
Um, what I'm looking forward to in 2026, I feel like I think all moms kind of go through your identity centering around that a lot, as opposed to like who are you prior or who are you like now outside of that identity. So I'm looking forward to um moving from a point of like practicality to like more of an intuitive space, meaning like I can get real heady and be like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what's safe. This is what makes sense. And my heart will be in other places. So I'm looking forward to really following my heart and my intuition and believing that the things I believe in are practical, if that makes sense.
Hmm, very
Hmm.
much so.
Hmm.
All right, Cassie, what's questions next?
All right. So I'm gonna ask the flip one. So that is, what are you leaving behind in 2026? And you can think about this too as maybe, or not what you're just leaving behind from 2025, but one thing that Tanae and I have been talking about over the past few shows, and that it kind of frames up why this conversation is happening, is that 2026 begins a 1 year, so a new 10-year cycle. And the last 1 year we had was 2017. So if you think of 2017 to now as a cycle, it makes a lot of sense. That, like, we're wrapping some stuff up and we're moving into something new. So like, if you want to think about that whole vast expanse of time or just this year, but what's being left behind? I will start because there's a specific thing that I've been working on over the past few months that's been making my life a lot better, and that is listening to straight white men talk about politics and the way things are. I just have learned that is it's not useful for me to do a lot of that. And like, I'm not saying that none of them have valuable opinions or interesting insights. But it is contributing to this idea that this is a uniquely disastrous moment and everything is terrible and all of this stuff, when like really a lot of things have been terrible for a lot of people for a long time. And there are ways of developing resilience and systems outside of, electoral politics or anything else to help people, to save people, to save the earth, whatever, name your concern. So that is something that I've successfully weeded a lot of out of my diet of information, and I intend to continue with that. It seems to be working.
I'm here for that. Give you guys more time. I'm going to leave. I am going to leave behind self-doubt of my abilities and my impact. I am a fairly confident person in most aspects, but I think the things that are very close to me and the things I want to do really well at, I am self-conscious about it in my own way, and I have some self-doubt. So I'm definitely leaving that behind, and I'm also leaving behind politeness to rude ass people. And
Woo!
inconsiderate folks, because at this point, we are all on this planet together, and there is no need to be disrespectful or rude, because you will meet disrespectful and rude. Look at this face, it's so cute, but if you know me, I don't give a fuck. But I am just, leaving that in 20. Yes, no more niceness. If you're rude, don't cross my path. Janelle, you can start on this one.
The the one you said, well, both of them are good, but I definitely resonated with the self-doubt and believing in yourself and being more critical of yourself when it's something that's very important to you. I want to leave behind not asking for help. As an eldest daughter, that got me in a chokehold. But 2025 forced my hand. Um, was it end of April? I uh had a part fracture in my hip and I couldn't walk for like a few weeks. Uh, so I didn't have a choice but to be like, help me. And that, very humbling experience, because like I like to do everything myself. If I do it, it's right. All those mentalities. And like, it's uncomfortable, but collaboration I'm definitely looking forward to, as far as like, I think I'm seasoned enough now, as opposed to when Cassie was mentioning the 2017 being the cycle. I was like, oh God, because that was a rough one. There's a lot of life lessons in that one. But I think I've learned enough to know I have great discernment now. I trust myself now. So like, depending on people will be okay. Even if I run into some stuff that's like, okay, I don't like this collab. I don't like this partnership. I don't like whatever. I have the tools now to navigate that, as opposed to, back in the day, feeling like you can't trust people. I gotta carry this because I can't leave it to anybody else to carry. Um, I have a lot more tools in my toolbox and wisdom to kind of navigate that space now. So.
All right now. Jamaica. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. See, y'all aren't
Um,
gonna know. I'd stay ready. Okay, that's it. Just stay ready.
listen. I don't know. I have a couple things I want to leave behind. Self-doubt is a big one. I think that's major for me going into this year. Just like self-acceptance, having more confidence. That's something I really want to focus on and like leave all the insecurities kind of behind. Um, Also like being the eldest daughter, also like perfectionism. I feel like I always have had to show up as like the best version, the perfect daughter, the perfect sister, everything. And that's draining. Like at 36-year-old, I'm tired. Like, so I'm trying to like leave perfectionism behind and kind of focus on like progress over perfection. Like, I've been a person where if it's not all the way 100% right, the conditions aren't optimal, I'm not even gonna do it. I'm just gonna be like, no, I'm good. Like, and I gotta get over that. Like, I have to leave that behind, or like, I'm gonna be stagnant. I feel like that's led to a lot of stagnation in my life. So, um, those are the big ones, like perfectionism and self-doubt for sure.
I love that for you as a Taurus because that is sometimes a like a harsher tendency of a Taurus is to just be stagnant and it's a hard time to move fixed earth. And so for you to recognize that, I celebrate that in you because that is big.
But I
That is
appreciate that. It's
big.
hard. It's
Yes.
definitely hard.
Dan, Mr. I got put it on my plate. Let me take it. I got this. I'm about to eat it up. What's up? What you got?
Yeah. Um, I would say the thing that I am looking to leave behind is, how do I want to phrase it? Justifications for people and things. It's very easy for me to come across someone in a bad mood and be like, well, maybe they're having a bad day. Well, maybe they didn't mean that. And then it's very easy for me to like look on the sunny side of everything, but like, flip that internally and just be like, you know what? Enough like sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes you have to look at a little storm cloud and be like, you know what? Sometimes it's rainy and that's fine too. But like,
Hmm.
I don't need to be justifying everybody and their actions and my own actions. It's just more directness. I just, all of the gray area of things, not in a bad way, not if I'm gonna cut everything out of my life and it's all black and white, but like, I don't need to get lost in the illusion of, well, maybe everybody's just in a bad mood,
No,
you know?
some people are just assholes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's no, that is like you said, I said what I said.
Yep.
As we
Hmm.
always say on the Zodiac Chat line, no is a complete sentence.
Yes.
And that's,
And calling a
um,
spade a spade.
that's what I'm
Hmm.
Yes.
saying. Listen, Cassie knows the things I do want to bring back, continue to bring back is bartering. I know because that's like, safe, but booing people, booing,
Yes.
okay, making sure that they know what their actions
Some
are
people need to be
terrible.
shamed.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. And my reference for those of you who have never seen it, I highly recommend. My reference is always The Princess Bride and the old lady who is booing them as they are walking up. That is the type of booing that we should bring back because it is intense and it is very direct. And you should be embarrassed because why are you acting this way?
I'm gonna
Hmm.
start booing in meetings and just see what happens. Like, just gotta try it out. Boo!
when
Tomato, tomato.
when Dan said shame, I thought about Game of Thrones, and when she was ringing the bell, shame, shame,
Just
shame.
saying. I
Some
think
people
you know
need
what?
it.
If you allow people to act in a certain way and don't call it, and as Dan said, justify their behaviors, then it's allowed and people are like,
Hmm.
oh well, that's just so and so and they're just like
Hmm.
this, and it's like, no, no,
Yeah.
there is a wrong to this, and how you treat people. There is a right and wrong. Whether we agree on what that looks like, we all know that there is a very line between that. Okay, so this one is going to be an interesting one, and I think I'll start with it. Um, so my question is, because we talked a lot about, 2025, but what were you able to teach in 2025? Like, how did you to other, and it doesn't have to be like but like, what do you feel like your essence and your energy taught other people in 2025? Um, And I feel like my essence, as I continue to move up in the cycle of life, because time doesn't stop even if I don't believe in it. I'm Mariah Carey. I don't know how old I am, just kidding. But one of the things I believe I taught this year was firmly to never judge a book by its cover. I think a lot of people look at me and have very assessments or stereotypes or whatever, and then they get to know me, and instantly I am aware that my magic melts those around me, and I am able to connect with just whomever, just on a basic human level. So I think what I taught is just to allow people to be who they are and accept them as they come to you.
Mm.
You next, Cassie girl.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
So that's interesting. I feel like there's two ways to think about it, because I had my little answer to this question, and now I'm rethinking it based on how you responded. So I'll give my little answer, something like more tangible, I guess, or more in the vein of teaching. Is actually I brought my oldest son. I'm open with my kids about the fact that I'm like a witch, but I try to explain that it's not like the way it is in storybooks, and I don't know everything, and I can't turn somebody into a pumpkin yet. And but that I pay attention to where the moon is, and where the planets are, and what the seasons are doing, and how to work with different times of year, because certain things are more conducive to certain conditions or whatever. And so this year, James has been a part of a few like new moon intention setting rituals with me. And so it's been fun to share with him what as much as I've gleaned about this practice over the many years that I've been experimenting with spirituality, and just trying to kind of impart upon him the importance of, um, like lovingly taking into your own hands what you can control, but never trying to control others, and understanding that what you put out, you will get back, and that works for good and bad. So trying to put good out there. And I think that in that vein, one thing that um, I this year was a milestone. It's the longest I've ever stayed in one job. I hit at my job this month. I just passed Tijuana Garage. So I was at Tijuana Garage for 4 years and 2 months. I've been at my current job for 4 years and three. And I think that what I bring to that space with other adults, because that's where I'm interacting with people who aren't really my family, because that's kind of all I interact with otherwise. And I mean my chosen family too, but I consider everybody who's left in my circle at this point family. But the sort of, and other group PTSA and whatever groups, is that I just try to bring lightness, because like none of this is that serious. Like this may all be falling apart. It's like we're on the precipice of just potential societal collapse. And so like I try to bring some levity to those situations. And I can feel that energy sometimes. And I think um there's a fine line between trying to bring up the vibe and pouring too much from your own cup. And so I maintain really strict boundaries with work also. Like I'm not somebody who's like checking my work email after work hours or anything like that. And so I try to be intentional about that. But I do, when I am in those spaces, or in any spaces where I'm interacting really a lot with other people outside of my intimate circle, um, try to bring some lightness to it. And I think that that's happened this year. So
Love it. All right, Dan, you're up.
Oh gosh. Truth. I say truth.
Mm.
I
Always.
mean, I work with the public, so I do hair, and I feel like I have been able to kind of assess people's situations and help them make little self-discovery questions. I like to lead people to self-discovery questions more than just be like, well, this is what it is, you know? So
Yeah.
in essence, I feel like I have a good time of helping people like self-discover a little bit more.
Mm.
I love
Hmm.
that. Okay. Janelle.
What's Dan's moon? Because I didn't hear it
Dan
at first.
is a
Uh,
Taurus moon.
is a Taurus moon.
Okay. That okay. I was just curious off of
Dan
he
is
said he
he's
said the
pretty.
same
He's
thing,
pretty,
one of the
pretty,
same
pretty.
things I was gonna say, but he delivered it quite nicely because he said he leads people to self-discovery, and I was gonna say I lead people to accountability.
Yes. See,
Um
but I love that directness.
I
Mhm.
I have always been big fan of direct communication. Let's talk about the thing so we get past the thing. Let's hash it. It's on the table already. Let's not avoid the elephant in the room. And certain situations, especially in the last life cycle, made me kind of get quiet about it because it seemed like everybody was scared of accountability or resented me for trying to bring that to the conversation. But like especially the longer I have been a parent, I just don't have tolerance for it. Like if you kind of going back to what Dan said about justifying things for people. Like no, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck. It's a duck, and we need to address it. And if we can't address it, I just don't do well in spaces like that. So like I feel like that's my natural vibration of like we're going to be accountable in this space. We're going to be responsible for our actions. We're going to hold space for the fact that yes, it is hard to change. Yes, it is hard to hear critique, but we're capable of going in a different direction than we've went, especially if like those actions or like hurting ourselves or hurting other people. So,
Yes.
Exactly. And Jamaica.
Um, Cassie, I really resonated with like what you were talking about bringing like lightness to situations. I think that's I've had some of my lowest lows in 2025, but I've also found a lot of moments to be joyful and
Mm.
like to just play and have fun. And I think like that's like something I learned. I lost my mom in 2015, and I really was at a crossroads of like, you can be depressed for the rest of your life and sad and in the bed, or you can like still live your life and like live a full life and make her proud. And so like those are the things. Like even when I'm low, I'm like I'm still gonna find moments to bring joy to a situation and find that like positivity. And so I think like hopefully that's what I've taught people like over these years. Like you can be in some shit, but you also can find those moments of like happiness and to keep moving forward. So yeah,
That's
Okay.
beautiful.
yeah.
I love all of those things. Do we have any more questions, Cassie, you think? Or
So the last question we have, and I think we've talked about it a little, but I guess if you had to pick one takeaway of like the lesson you learned, what was the lesson of 2025? What would that be for you? Um, Tanae, you wanna give
yeah,
start first?
no, yeah. Yeah. Oof, 2025. Man,
Did I say
when you said
2023? I meant
no, you said 2020. No,
2025.
you
What
said
year is it?
2025. I'm
Oh,
just
thank
my
God.
brain.
Okay.
No, what I was thinking is like when you had talked about the first 1 year was 2017, and I did a whole like life flash before my eyes, like I did a reverse. And I was like, ooh, that person. Okay. But also 20 just listen, I know I am self-awareness lives over here more than I want to. So I'm very aware. Honestly, I think what 2025, the lesson I learned was I'm right on my boundaries and to stand firm in them. And it's out of love, first for myself and then for the people around me. Um, I've had really actually recently interesting conversations about anytime you're in a dynamic and you feel like you're loving that person more than you're loving yourself. And that's something that I just don't feel safe in, because I want to be able to love me first enough to be able to love that person in the same capacity I can love myself. But I have found that sometimes I have allowed myself to kind of be shrunk in that and not stand in my boundaries. And I am pretty good at my boundaries. Most people that know me know I'm good at my boundaries. Do not disturb does work on my phone, so it is what it is. But in general, I think because I was quiet about a lot of my boundaries, and I tended to just get quiet and disappear rather than say, I don't like how you did that, and this is the boundary that you and I have now. And so I think that's a big lesson, is just standing true on that, and being okay with it, and being okay that somebody is upset that they don't feel like they got what they felt they needed. And it's like, but if I didn't have it to give, and I felt like it was taking away from the love that I could give to myself, like I don't, you're not entitled to that. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's my long-winded lesson answer.
No, that's
Yeah.
great. That's really important. So I'll take it back. For me, I think my big takeaway from this year is like I become my habits, and I have really through the life of this project. This project was a very good um, uh, task to help realize like a cadence of setting up time for tasks and planning things. And the of course it's a fun creative project, but just in terms of actually like, okay, planning out time, and we've got to get to this point to get to this point to get to this point and whatever. But and so in the years that we've been doing this project, I have cultivated more rigor in my habits in other areas of my life. And this year, I mean, I am a writer who hasn't been writing regularly, or wasn't for a lot of this 10-year cycle. And but here at the end of it, the last couple of years, that has been really something that I've been able to renew in a way that doesn't feel overwhelming to me. And I don't feel like I've failed if, it doesn't quite show up, in 10 pages written in a day or whatever. But just in other aspects to, how I manage my time with my kids, how I show up for my husband and our marriage and everything. Is just like I really need, and even like praying and stuff, like all of these things is like I have to have them as habits. It can't be something that I do piecemeal. It has to be like integrated into my life over and over to receive from it the growth and the meaning that I want to receive from it. So that's been my big takeaway from this year, and I hope part of what will be the guiding principle for next year and the next 10 years,
Yeah, dang, that's inspiring. You're right though. This project definitely kept us on a schedule. Okay,
It did. It did. It
it
was a
kept
good
us like
taskmaster in
we are
some ways.
we were very organized. I think it really just, even from the beginning till now, just watching us evolve, and how, I mean, you all were in the beginning as guest experiences on the emails that you got, and the we had you sign and waiver. We
Yeah.
had a whole slew of things, so that's a really good one. Janelle, I want you to take this one first.
Uh, I'm not muted, right?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
A step is still a step, and something is better than nothing. Um, when Jamaica was speaking on some of that eldest daughter syndrome and the perfectionism and the harsh critic on the inside, I had a talk with my therapist a couple weeks ago about how I was like, I just have never been consistent my whole life. I just feel like I have a bunch of unfinished things all over the place. And she was like, just keep talking, because, that's how therapy works. If you've been like, allow you to come to your conclusions instead of just telling you stuff sometimes. So, I talked about the hip injury. I was talking about, dealing with chronic illness. I was talking about being the caretaker to my daughter and all this stuff. And she was like, what if what you feel like consistency is like doesn't work for you at all? So you're judging yourself off of this like rubric that's totally unfair. And at the end of the day, you're still moving the needle, like in a multitude of ways. You just don't see it the way that other people see it. Your perspective is skewed. And that's what I'm here for. So we're going to work on that. But like you're being so unfair to yourself, because like how much progress can you make in all of these areas that you're in? Because I am somebody who my energy is spread to a lot of things. And I've always been that way. But instead of rejecting myself and not accepting that out of me, I tend to think that like you compare yourself to somebody who's like more linear, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so far behind." I seen a TikTok today, and the guy was saying your lineage has waited for you to wake up right now. And here you are thinking that you're behind when you're the one that's supposed to be here right now going through what you're going through in the times that we're in. And it resonated so deeply, because it's just like I think a lot of the progress that's happening right now is so behind the scenes, so underground. Like you would think the end of the world is happening, which it is, but not in the ways that we're thinking. Like a lot of this shit needs to go away and collapse. A lot of this shit needs to be done with. I don't need to be, if I don't like working, let's just start there. Why am I so concerned about trying to hustle, hustle, hustle and get all this shit done when like that's not even me? And it's not because I'm lazy, that's just not my system. So when I did the actual more honest review of like what happened this year, I'm like, actually, I got a lot of shit done. It might have not been the things that I was focused on and like beating myself up about, but like I did get a lot of shit done. And like, if Janelle was sitting across from me telling me what I was talking about to myself, I've been like, girl, why you talk about yourself like that? You take care of your baby, you doing this, you doing that. And just like Jamaica said, like I gotta start talking to myself more like a friend. I do have good friends that like two ladies that are sitting here that will pull me out of that a lot. But like on the day to day, and especially with what Cassie said, like just putting those habits in that kind of help anchor you in the truth, and not what this anxiety and the spiraling thoughts will tell you on the day to day. So a step is a step, and progress is still
Right.
progress, even when it's slow.
Hmm. Hmm.
All right. Jamaica.
Listen, y'all are preaching. I love
Mm-hmm. Yep, girl, your turn.
it. Um, I mean, I think the biggest lesson I'm taking from 2025 is like the relationship with yourself is the most important relationship that you're ever gonna have. And like you have to cultivate that first. And I think for so much of my life, like I've sacrificed my own like personal happiness to support other people and things around me. And like this year, especially the second half of this year, I made some decisions that is like, this might make other folks uncomfortable, but it makes me happy. And so like I gotta do it. I gotta shift. I gotta make those moves.
Amen.
And it's like it's been scary because like not a lot of my life have I put myself first. But what I'm realizing is like I have to. Like what? It start and stop with you. So you gotta like really take care of that relationship with yourself. And so that's been a huge lesson. A really transformational lesson for me this year is like you can't work like you gotta put yourself first. You can't worry about everybody else's feelings about what you're doing. You got to do it what supports you. So yeah, that's been huge for me. That's been big. You know, Tanae, I've come to work.
Listen,
Thanks.
listen, I don't think y'all know. I'm so proud of Jamaica and just in the growth. And as she said in the second half of the year, and we've had a couple conversations. I said, friend, this about you. So what you got going on? What you want to do? She's like, I know I'm just scared. I'm like, but you gotta do it anyway. And she did, and like just the day she made this really big decision and all of a sudden she came in and I was like, girl, you feeling good? And she was just like, I just feel so good about this. And I was like, I'm glad because you deserve it.
Yes, I appreciate you. You've been a blessing. Yes, for
I
sure.
Listen,
want to say
hey.
I'm proud of Jamaica too, and I know we got catching up to do. But like, I went to high school with Jamaica, and like Jamaica's just one of those people you see her go through something, and I know as Black women we do not like this compliment, but she make it look easy, dog. I'm telling you. But just to see you in so much joy today, it makes me joyful. So
I love you, girl. Thank
I
you.
love you too.
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
All right, Dan, bring it home for us.
Uh, among other things that need to be put on coffee mugs, my takeaway, my takeaway is kind of summed up in two little catchphrases that I've been using, but plans without actions are just dreams. That's all they
Ooh,
are. You gotta, it's nice to have a dream, but you need to make that dream a reality. So you gotta get out there and do the thing.
I
You know,
should have
you
had the
have to be
notebook out all
you have to
all
be in the
this
place to
time.
do the thing. Um, and also, aggressive aggression. Like, not in a bad way, just aggressive aggression. Be direct, you know, when you take those steps to tell someone, hey, you know what, that's not cool with me. That's not okay. And it's so empowering. It's just, I don't have to sit here and stand for A, B, and C. That's not my place. If you want that, that's cool for you. But I'm gonna do me a little bit more. So that's been kind of my little wrap up for this cycle is just you gotta just do what fits for you,
Yeah.
not for other people.
Absolutely.
It's so true. I love that you keep coming back to aggressive aggression because I have said that in my for myself too because I don't like you know I think I was probably in college or so. I had a lot of self-realizations then and spotted some patterns that all through my growing up, it was just like, I can't carry this into adulthood. And one of them was passive aggression. I'm like, I can't, this doesn't work. This is not getting me. I don't feel good about this and it's having bad outcomes. And I've consciously cultivated like I don't like confrontation. I don't seek
Yep.
confrontation, but if confrontation needs to happen, I will engage in confrontation.
Don't start
And
shit,
Janelle,
but finish it.
right,
Yes, you
Janelle, you
will.
alluded to that earlier too about accountability in spaces and like, you know, as all of us move into communities and cultivate things with people, we have to have a plan that we're not going to see eye to eye with them all the time on everything. So then how do you handle, you have to like kind of game it out in your head, like how might I start a conversation? How do I want to frame a confrontation in a way where we can still at the end of this maintain some kind of bond for our common work or whatever, and feel like we both feel good about saying what needed to be said and recognizing our common humanity, but also like come to a resolution, and that's really hard. We're not like set up for success in that endeavor, I think, here in the way like we're educated. If you went to public school, like, or even a private school that sort of abides by a traditional school structure, like you learn that there's an authority like everybody else, and like there's not a lot of examples of true collaboration and cooperation where you may have to engage in conflict, but just learning to speak your truth, Dan, and being direct with people is 85% of it, I think, then. 'Cause that also opens up the avenue that they know they can be direct with you too, you know? And
Yep.
but it's hard. It's really hard to do.
I feel like it's a sign of the times because we're, as far as like what's dying and what's coming in, we've been in this individualistic going society. So when you're not directly having communication, a lot falls on just you. You can't have community without direct communication, accountability, collabing on this thing, learning from each other, taking your ego out of something so that you have perspective to gain. So, like, the theme I'm noticing also, everybody seems to be truth tellers here. Like, and we all know that when you're a truth teller, you're not everybody's cup of tea. Okay. So conflict feels bad and uncomfortable, especially when you're dealing with people who just not ready for that or have the capacity for it yet. But like, we're ahead of the curve because that's the direction we're going in.
The
And I
right
also
people will
think
catch up.
like conflict, like there's healthy conflict, right? And I think it becomes unhealthy because people aren't saying the things soon enough. So you let too much fester. So by the time you actually like having the direct conversation, it's like it comes out in this like explosion, right?
Yeah.
Versus like just having like these continual kind of like ways to give feedback to each other. I think like that's what's hard. I think Brene Brown says like clear is kind. Like we should be clear with each other, right? Like that should always be happening because that just leads to better outcomes for sure.
1000%.
Love that. Clear is kind and it leads to better. Listen, so I hope everybody that is watching or listening, y'all been taking notes because we haven't been. We've just, we're just being moved by the solstice energy and everybody's just really, appreciate everybody being vulnerable and speaking from the heart. I can tell that's what we are all doing. Um, Before we, of course, to our tarot card, we want to know, do you guys want to promote anything to the people? If they want to find you, if you want to be found, great. If you don't, we have no judgment on that. But if there's any projects or anything you want to promote or anything like that, feel free to let them know.
Can Dan say
Doggone
his
it.
show again so I can?
My show. My so the movie that I worked on, it's called Big Easy Queens.
Big Easy Queens. Okay.
Yep,
Can you give
it's
us a
on
little
Hulu.
quick summation about what it is, story, a
Ooh,
quick story time?
it is basically like two under like belly mob bosses in New Orleans are kind of going after each other, and then the threats get a little real, and they figure out that it's not either one of them, so they have to kind of team together and figure out who it actually is.
Oh, ooh, okay.
It's very,
Listen, I
very
love
campy, very
love it.
it's very kitsch, very campy. It's everything and
And
nothing all
you
at
did
once.
the hair on this movie?
I did all the hair and the costumes,
Oh, wow. Okay.
and I
Okay.
make a little
Okay.
cameo in there.
Okay.
I
Okay.
I
Look at how
watched
Awesome.
it.
shyly he slowly divulged every little bit of how involved he actually. I love it.
It is
Okay.
well worth your time. It is super indie, super campy, super fun. I texted Dan as I was watching it a photo and told him, I promise you, I knew from behind this was you because his cameo, he enters from the back. And I was like, that's fucking Dan. Dan and I went to high school together. We've known each other a long time. And I was like, he turns around and I
Yep.
was like, I knew it. It's fun though. It was, and like, I'm, I'm so happy for you because I know that was like, I mean, making films is crazy. Like, it's a crazy business. When I worked in TV in Atlanta, I was working on shows that had multi-million dollar budgets, but then also helping, the locations guy with his short film that he was working on. And then you're just like, you're getting fed like Twinkies and Chex Its all day. And people are just like praying you stay for the 12 hours you're supposed to be there to help them shoot. And it was like weeks of that type of indie just filmmaking. But it was so cool to see it and be able to stream it and to know, was it The Advocate put like money behind it?
Yeah, Advocate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was really it's pretty cool. So I co-sign Big Easy Queens.
But I do want to
Girl.
throw one tiny thing in there that I just thought of that actually was a big takeaway for this past few years is Kathy gave me probably one of the best catchphrases ever that has just lived in my head since she said it. I was getting ready to go to a big red carpet thing and talk to a lot of people in Hollywood land. And I was like, girl, this is not my world. You have more experience than I do. What advice do you have? And she said that authenticity is the final currency. It's the
I love
only
that.
currency left. And it has just stuck with me. And it is like such a good takeaway.
Yes,
So
writer
that's
Cassie
all
with the
you, girl.
words.
Brava.
I need it
Listen,
on a t-shirt. For
that is going to be the theme for this show. Authenticity is the final currency. Of course, Cassie came up with something brilliant.
Yep.
Janelle, Jamaica, anything you want to let the people know?
I'm low key. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Jamrocka2. I don't do much over there, but if you want to peep the vibes, come on. That's all I got.
You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok. My Substack, I'm hoping to do a lot more on there this year. I have the links in my bio. Mindfully Goldie. So that's it though.
Beautiful. And as Cassie and I talked about, as she posted on her Instagram, we do now have a Discord for the Zodiac chat line. So for those of you that want to hop on and continue to be a part of this amazing community that we have built from 2021 until now, and as you can see, all these lovely people in front of us, their lives were changed forever from coming on this show
Their
and
lives were
meeting
changed
us.
forever.
Forever.
I mean, I guess
Forever.
They
technically true
were.
because you don't, you can't
Exactly. I'm
separate.
just
I'm in
saying.
full agreement.
Just saying. Come on. We were already on the weird COVID timeline anyway, so just saying.
Truth.
Um, but I am going to send you guys on your way. And Cassie and I are going to close this out. Thank you once again. You guys have an amazing rest of your solstice and the best 2026. We will be keeping up with you because we know you.
Yeah, we have all your phone numbers and
Yeah.
email addresses and waivers. So
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we'll
thank you
find you.
guys for coming on.
Thanks for
All
having
right.
us.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Wonderful to chat with everybody.
Yes, I know. So
Beautiful.
much fun. So much
Shall
fun.
I hang
I
up?
love it.
Red button. Come on,
I'm
Now,
boomers.
trying hard and it's
It's okay.
just
I got you. I got you.
I,
Oh, she figured it out. And there's Dan, and he is yes.
so much truth being told in that conversation. Janelle hit
It
it dead on the.
never fails. It never
Mhm,
fails.
mhm.
Always, always. So like we said, everybody, just give it up for all of our guests. Also, we are sending some healing vibes to a guest that was not able to join us this evening, Brandon, who is happily dressed on the social channels. Amazing human. He is a Cancer sun, Taurus.
Taurus. Mhm. Yeah, he was supposed to be
Um,
helping me hold Antone hold it down with some cardinal energy, but it's fine. It's fine. The fixed energy was
yeah,
perfect.
but we're just hoping that you heal. Hoping that you heal. And we want to thank you for joining us for when you did on the show. To Janelle, Dan, and Jamaica, we love you guys. Thank you. That was an amazing conversation. Again, thank you for being so open, so vulnerable, and willing to answer all of our questions. Me and Cassie deep is our thing. Like we don't know how to do surface. So before we say our farewell, we of course will always rock out with a oracle card or a tarot card. But today we have a lovely oracle card, and it is one of my absolute favorites. That is the Whispers of Ganesha by Angela Hartfield, and the artwork is by Ekaterina Golovanova. I practiced this so many times. Golovanova, Ekaterina Golovanova, you know. But just so you can see, of course, we have the meditative Ganesha on the back, and then all of these beautiful, and I mean, just the colors, the vibrancies, the detail in all of these cards. And so we, for the final time, I know,
We'll
magical
see, but
queen,
no.
right? For the final time for this year. How about that? And of course, for the best winter solstice message we can get, we are going to have Cassie wave her magical energy through and let us know what we need to hear. So, whenever you're
Oh,
ready, dear friend.
all right. I'm ready. Let's hear
All
it.
right.
What do we have?
Here we go. Dun, dun, dun. Ooh. Number 31, we have decision.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Ooh. I love
Yeah.
that look that he's giving in that,
That,
just sort of like,
it's like, hey girl,
yeah, a knowing glance there. All right.
this is a good one. This is a good one. Okay. We'll hang this over here for right now. Hopefully y'all can see it. Okay. Consider all your options to make an informed choice. What exactly do you want in this situation? Are you satisfied with the way things are moving in your life? Ganesha is guiding you to know that your desires are within your sights. Odds are in your favor. The decision that is before you is either sticking with what you know or breaking out and trying something new. This is a time for veering out into a new adventure and making a decision that deviates from your typical trend or habit. Ganesha will gift you with a greater understanding of who you are and what you are capable of creating. Zero in on a goal. Take the step to make the selection. You have worked hard and really evolved through your life lessons. Get ready for a change. Motivate yourself by taking time to rejuvenate. Treat yourself to the simple things that bring you joy. Discover new activities that take you away from routine. As you move through your day-to-day schedule in new ways, you create new thoughts. When Ganesha is holding the mace called Gada, he is challenging you to be more decisive. Once you start being more strong-minded, you will create the opportunity to reflect your longer-term goals and desires. You'll then be in a better position to plan ahead and ensure you achieve those goals. You benefit now from a newfound sense of confidence and ready for a major change. You might consider travel to exotic places, further education, or a major career change at this point. This will expand your learning and development and grow your horizons beyond your immediate environment. With careful planning and a moderated approach, you will set yourself up for success now and moving towards the future. I don't.
My friend. My friend.
Every single time.
We're
It
a
just
hundred
summed
for a
up.
hundred, baby.
Listen, can't get any better than that. Every single time. We just summed up everything we just told you. Literally. Everything. Everything. Oh. And I love how it's decision number 31, which is the last day of this month. And it's also a great date because
Mm-hmm.
that's, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
as Cassie said, look at those eyes right there. Look at that. Like, what you getting into? What you got going on? That's what they saying. What you really trying to do? What you really
That's
trying to do?
beautiful.
Oh my goodness. Of course. Of course. Of course. Why would we? I never expect anything different. Well, here we are. We have reached the close of this winter solstice show and the pause for this project for now. And who knows what's going to come next. But
The end
we
of
hope that
this
you find us on
chapter.
Discord. This end of this chapter and the cycle. We got a new cycle starting 2026. So a new cycle of us in astrology. But for now, join us on the Discord and hang out over there and we can chit chat and talk about some cool astrology stuff. There is a lot of interesting things coming our way with all of the planetary changes. Right now, we are in, some steady energy and only a couple planets retrograde, but we hope that you have made some great strides in the year in 2025 and since you've been watching the show with us, and that your 2026 will bring you all the things and things you weren't expecting. Well, Cassie, my friend, for the final time, I love you, girl. I would never want to do this without you. Coral, we love you. Thank you for always being there and supporting us. To anybody watching, thank you. And we hope you have a blessed day. It's all love.
Everybody who's ever been on the show, thank
Ever.
you.
Ever. We thank you,
And
thank you, thank you,
today,
thank you so much. Gratitude.
I love you so much. Thank you for just being you and bringing your energy to this. And it was a blessing to do all of this with you. And I look forward to the next chapter and our friendship in this project in our
Yes.
lives.
Oh my
So
gosh. I can see, I feel big things for us, and I appreciate having you honest, like, kept me structured. Like it was definitely lessons in accountability and staying the course. Even through, we have the cardinal and I'm the fixed. So I'm always like, we're changing course. Okay. But it's fine. I love that the cardinal energy was like, girl, let's try this. Whatever you say. It'll work. But thank you guys. As you can see, we're a little sentimental, but just remember, it's up to you. Whatever decision. There is no wrong decision. Just make one. And with that said, for the last time, it's all love, y'all. And we out of here. Peace.
peace.
Boom, boom, boom.